Healthy Swag is a movement to holistically empower Black men to take charge of their healthcare and thrive in every aspect of their lives. We will strive to educate, entertain, and spark meaningful conversations that fearlessly intertwine healthcare with diverse topics such as pop culture, sports, relationships, fatherhood, work, politics, and even sex. Together, we will break barriers, shatter stereotypes, and create a paradigm shift that uplifts Black men to new heights of success. Join us as we engage valuable insights and knowledge. How's your swag?
All right, we've got Dr. Q and Dr. Batiste here. This is Isaac Palmer. And I want to spring a topic on these guys. It's not too often I get two doctors in the same room at the same time. So I did a solo podcast where I walked through with the audience my primary care visit, and it happened about 2 months ago. And in that retelling of the story, I told them that before the doctor came in, a nurse came in and asked me some behavioral health questions. Are you suicidal? Are you ever depressed? Do you ever feel lonely? And I said on the show, I lied on all those questions because I didn't want her in my business. I didn't want to go into it. I didn't know what was going to happen with the answers. And most importantly, I am seeing a counselor on a regular basis. And I said, I already have an outlet for that. I'm good. It to me, it was like asking, if I'm seeing a cardiologist and they start asking me about my heart. I'm not saying it's a strong argument, but what happened is I have a doctor friend of mine. She's a board member on my nonprofit Match Foundation, and she went in. You should not have lied. And so gave me a full lesson, which I already knew about integrated care, and primary care doctors need to do a better job. If they have all the information, they can do a better job in your care, blah, blah, blah. But I gave her, and I said to her, I'm sorry, I was just being honest. And at the moment, I did not trust the system. I did not trust that nurse in front of me. And so as a doctor, I mean, you guys have these forms as well, right? And you've got these pre-questionnaires where you're gathering information. How important is that information? And please take the time to go in on me as has already been done if you have strong feelings about it.
You sure?
Yeah.
You sure you want that?
That's actually, a patient just told me that today. He admitted to me that he lied about some answers that we asked to, particular questions. And I'm like, man, you can lie about it, but that prevents me from actually helping you, so there's no utility in lying to your physician. We're here to solve problems. So if you tell us there's no problem, we don't know where to go with that, what to do for you. So it only helps you if you're fully transparent, and there's no judgment, everything is confidential. There's no judgment. We're here to help. So we're the last people you want to lie to, us and God.
All right. That's fair. That's fair.
See, and I want to take a slightly different angle to it. I agree with that, first of all, but my question is, why did you lie? Why did you lie? Was it because you don't trust your primary care doctor? Is it that you think that they are going to take the information, they being the nurse, and pass judgment? What was the reason that you lied about it?
Neither one of those. I felt like, have you ever, let's say you're having a bad day, a legitimately bad day, and you walk into the office and the first person you see says, how's it going? And at that moment you say, I don't have the time to unpack this, and I'm not sure you're really ready to receive all that's going on. And so split second, again, not saying I made the right decision, but my gut feeling said, let's avoid this. Let's move on past this. And you have someone in your care that can really go into that question. How's your day? I have someone for that. I don't want to sound like I'm defending.
No, I mean, it's whatever. Yeah. It's explanation, whatever. Yeah. But so you didn't think that they really wanted to know the answer or that you had the time to commit to it, or that
Yeah.
it was you felt it wasn't important contextually to that
Yeah,
visit.
all that, yeah.
So you superseded what the structure was inside of that clinic in terms of because of your background in healthcare. Do you think that played a role in terms of your idea of saying, well, you know what, this isn't necessary at this point. I have the access because I know how the system works.
No, I would say I was not at all tapping into my background, because my background tells me that I should answer those questions truthfully. I was being a patient, a vulnerable patient at the time, and I protected myself.
Did you feel like you did not get, like, my thing is economy. Like, I won't do something if I feel like I'm not getting something from it, typically. So did you feel like if I answer this question, you know, I'm really not going to get what I'm looking for back, so let me not just even answer, because I got somebody else that's dealing with it. So there's no sense of me even going there.
No, that didn't go through my mind. That didn't go through my mind.
Okay. Interesting.
What's interesting, when we do a lot out of my nonprofit screening for blood pressure inside of barbershops, beauty salons, and so it's always remarkable to me when people say, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want to check my blood pressure." I check my sister checks it for me at home, or I had checked to my doctor 5 months ago. It's like, are you afraid? So I started every once in a while I'll dig in. Like, you look scared. I'm not scared, Doc. Really? Then why don't you want to spend 1 minute to find out? So I guess the question I have to you too as well is, was there a level of releasing those emotions or that aspect of things in that particular setting that you did not want to do?
Now you've got something there, and this is where I will ask the audience and you as black men to relate. It's not easy being vulnerable and expressive and going through your emotions. It's one of those things where when you do it, it's exhausting. You don't want to do it again. You understand the benefit, but God forbid I got to do this every day. God forbid you're going to ask me we're going to go through that same discussion. It's so yeah, that was one thought was, oh man, do I really want to work this hard emotionally and mentally again?
It's a little
And
self-preservation.
that's a man thing. I honestly believe women are so much better at this, and I'm getting better. I'm getting better, but I'm not all the way there.
Do you feel like who was the person that you were talking to? Was it someone that was relatable to you?
The nurse. I just met her.
Okay.
And so what I credit the doctor for is I've got a great relationship with my primary care doctor, black male, south side of Chicago, and at the end of our visit, he asked me, at the beginning of our visit, he asked me any changes in, and I said, yeah, I'm going through a divorce. And so he said, oh, okay, sorry to hear about that. And we went through all the clinical stuff. And at the end of it, I'm walking out, and I said this in the podcast, I'm walking out, and he said, just so you know, I'm more than a doctor. I can be your brother as well. So if you want to talk. And I said, oh man, that is beautiful. Wow. And so that's what started this whole thing of, you know, maybe I should have answered those questions. Maybe she could have, you never know. She could have done the exact same thing and said, you know what? All right, you know, stethoscope off, you know, let me pull up a chair. Let's talk. I prevented that from happening.
Well, you know, I wouldn't be so hard on yourself, because, you know, as black men, we struggle with finding safe spaces in order to communicate, you know, authentically. And, you know, particularly in mixed company, you know, if it was you know, wasn't the same gender, wasn't the same race, you know, I mean, I could see you having some reservation about, you know, like opening up to someone like that, you know. So I don't know if I would be so hard on yourself in regards to that, because it is hard for us to feel safe to be vulnerable.
That's true.
The other thing I'd say is the fact that, you know, it's one of these things, like sometimes like our kids don't really quite understand why certain things we tell them are important for the future. There is such an intertwining of mental health with every aspect of healthcare. even to the level of how you respond to infections, to the level of what your blood pressure is, to the acute phase reactants that happen, the flare-ups, your tolerance, taking meds versus not. All these things really contribute to playing a significant role. And so not having the full picture, because we minimize that compared to a broken bone, arthritis, diabetes, a number that you can see in front of you, it all plays a role. It plays a role, which means it can help your provider take better care of you or put things into perspective of, you know what, I'm not going to hit them right now. We won't make major changes. Let's address this first. Let's deal with this a bit more. And so that's why, and this is not so much targeting you, right? This is targeting those out there who may be tuning in and thinking, yeah, man, I agree. I'm not telling them jack, right? Is that it all plays a role.
That's the only reason why I told my story. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
I'm not the only one. You driving in your car, you know who you are.
I mean, now, first, let me just give clarity. I'm not saying nothing about Isaac, right? I'm not trying to get in his business or nothing like that. But for some of y'all out there driving, that can affect you. Going to have to go see Dr. Q. If you don't address those mental health issues, you might be going to go see him. So you rather address it up front, so you're not having to pay the piper down the road. Nothing about you, though. Nothing about you.
But what I hear you also saying is I prevented, and those that also do the same thing, you're preventing the doctor from having the full picture. And it goes back to what I've said before on previous shows is as patients, we're not doctors. We don't know what information you all need. So it counteracts the example I just gave, which is, why would I tell this doctor about my cardiac problems? Well, because you have no idea how the heart interacts with everything else in your body. So be forthright. That's what I'm hearing you guys say. Be forthright.
Absolutely.
Let them do their job. As hard as it is to be vulnerable and open up.
That's how I can help you the most is I sit there and listen, and I listen to what you have to say. And as you're talking, I'm developing a picture. And I'm calculating things, and so as you're speaking, and if it's real, I can actually help you, but if you're just sugarcoating or saying that's not a problem, I can't, and so you're limiting your doctor, you're limiting your help. If you can't, I would say, this is a little nuanced because you didn't tell the nurse, but you did tell the doctor, so you ended up telling the person that can actually help you at some point, right?
I didn't go into it with my doctor near as much as the questions the nurse was asking.
Okay.
I just gave him just the high level going through divorce. Didn't even talk about how it affected me, but he was able to. And the other thing I said in the podcast, he was able to pick up on just that one comment, and I think it was black male to black male. We can read each other. We can read each other. That's what made him say, okay, all right, I can be your brother.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know how you feel, Columbus, when someone comes in with something that may not be directly related to what you're doing. How you feel addressing that, and as physicians, unfortunately, we're kind of under the clock a little bit too. We have a certain number of patients to see in the office, and we're both specialists, and so I can't hear about all of this, because I can't really help all of it, but. When it comes to things that pertain psychologically, I guess, to your field or my field, how do you feel comfortable addressing those things in the office?
Man, I'll tell you, it ends up being a feel thing, So if I feel like if someone is distraught and trying to get them to open up, I will take the time in that moment. If I feel like there's something just not quite there. That I need to dig into a little bit more, and I'll do it. But if they gloss over and they're just like, yeah, man, everything's good, I'm good, blah, 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 and nothing really comes out at all, okay, I probably will keep moving. I'm not going to keep digging,
right.
And nothing's there. So,
yeah. That's all the thing. Like on the other side, doctors are human too, and so we're trying to, we're trying to get through our day. But if it's not raised, we're not necessarily going to dig in necessarily.
No, that's fair. That's fair. You can't do everything. You can't.
Well, I'll have to tell you a story so you can dig into me, because I had different situation but similar apprehensions with moving forward. I can share with you in a different time.
Okay. Yeah. All right. We'll get to it. All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.